lovely. I love you.
Hello my darlings, it's Chanel and today we are doing a themed vlog. So the theme for this one is rereading almost favourites. So thanks to my Patreon members, they decided which vlog I would do for this month. So I'll tell you how I came up with this reading vlog. Basically, I was thinking about doing rereading 5-star books because I was in a bit of a reading slump in that I'd read quite a few books in a row that I hadn't enjoyed. So I thought one way to fix that would be to reread previous 5-star reads, because at the worst, there would be 3.5, right? Well, I was going through my precious, because that's what I call my 5-star reads, and I found some outliers in there. I found some anomalies. There were 3 4-star books in the my precious tag, and the reason I have a my precious tag is because when I was previously giving star ratings on Goodreads, 4.5-star books I would rate 5 stars because there's no half stars on Goodreads. So to make sure that those 4.5-star books weren't in my actual 5-star book lots, I created the my precious folder. So I thought to myself, what are these guys doing in here? Are these actually 4.5-star books that I thought deserved to be in my precious, or are they just accidentally labeled my precious? And I bet you're sick of me saying that word now. So I decided, let me read them. Let me see, do they deserve to be elevated to 5-star level, or do they need to be back where all the other books belong? So the 3 books that I read for this one, we have Light Boxes by Shane Jones. I will read my original review at the end. So in this book, you have a deranged sky daddy named February, and Feb decides to punish the people. First, he deletes flight. There are no longer balloons. Anything buoyant is banned. It is strictly a no-fly zone. And along with that, he brings a never-ending winter. And even with this never-ending February/winter, which I feel like is a metaphor for occupation, tyrannical governments and the like, you know, just oppression overall, the people's spirit won't be broken. They rebel in any way they can, and they continuously hold out hope that February will end and their children will be returned, because February has also stooped to the level of abducting their children. But once he does that, he's overstepped, boy, because their soft resistance turns into an outright war and rebellion. The book definitely looks at the bonds of family and community, fighting for one's rights and against oppressors. The writing, this is definitely an experimental book in the way it's written and structured. The writing is very delicate and surreal and poetic, and it plays a lot with font, which I thought was really fun. There is a sort of fairy tale-like quality and quirky storytelling to it that has a dreamy narrative, but all of that together meant that I had no idea what was going on. I will read you my original review. So I had originally read this book in January 2013. I really didn't remember a lot about it, except that it was quirky and structured differently. My original review, in which I gave it 4 stars, this would have to be one of the most bizarre books I have ever read, and yet I rather enjoyed it. The way it was written, both visually and with the different POVs, kept my interest piqued. I also had no idea at any moment where this story was even going. Oh, God bless little innocent Chanel, who hadn't read any sort of experimental literature and was probably shocked and awed and confused, and that's probably why I gave it 4 stars, because reading it now, it's definitely not a 4-star book for me. It is okay. It is okay. I found it confusing. It was too wishy-washy, watery, surreal for me. I'm like, just tell me, tell me what's going on. My neurodivergent brain needs some more concreteness, please. I get it's a metaphor for everything, but then how it finishes, I'm like, I don't understand what's happened. Please explain. So this is definitely not going into the 5-star territory. It's been demoted. I'm keeping the original rating that I had on air for it, but I've written my new review underneath. But yes, that was disappointing. I was thinking, oh, how fun to reread one of the original weird books from my past. But yeah, it didn't hit in the way I like my weird books to hit. Odd book wasn't for me. Read it if you like balloons, mint, and winter. The next book I picked up was Grimspace by Anne Aguirre. So this is a sci-fi that is reminiscent of Defy the Stars, but I think Defy the Stars is much better. It's about a woman named Sarantha Jax, and she is a jumper. She has this gene that allows her to, one second, let me look it up. I suck when it comes to sci-fi space terms. I feel like it's sort of quantum leaping, but let me just read it. She can jump ships through grimspace. Okay, that's all it says. So yeah, what happens in this book is you have the jumpers and you have pilots, and they are a bonded duo. So they literally jack into each other, and with her genes, she locates like ports throughout space and he pilots them there. But the bond between a pilot and a jumper goes deep on multiple levels. What happened though in the beginning of the book is her and a previous pilot lover, they crashed a ship, and she's being held in a facility and they are interrogating her. She has amnesia as to what happened, and then one day a tall, dark, mysterious, grumpy man breaks her out and essentially kidnaps her because they want her for their own reasons. They are rebels, as you can imagine, and she joins their ragtag crew. This is so fast-paced in terms of action, in terms of the amount of deaths, in terms of how quickly her hate turns to love for our tall, dark, handsome man, and how quickly too the hate from his crew turns to a found family for her. It was just, it's popcorn sci-fi. So if you want something that is just get straight into it, not too worried about the heavy world building and the character development, yada, 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 it's just action and plot and hijinks and humor and sexy times, I would rate this an MA because it's on page and it's a little bit detailed, just a little bit detailed. Yeah, then this will be the book for you. I once again, I read this in 2018. So this was more recent, but I think that I hadn't read a lot of sort of space opera action sci-fi books, and so I was impressed. And obviously there was on-page sex, which would have been tantalized, but for me it just felt very written. You know, it didn't feel organic. It was too quick. The slow burn wasn't there for me. So I'm watching Sylvie get up to some shenanigans. Yeah, Nia, I'm watching you and talking about you. She's my cleverest kitty, that one. You're also beautiful. I've also got Bluebell down here out of shot, unfortunately. Oh, there's some birds in the garden. I bet you want to catch them. Oh. So yeah, my rating is lower once again. Whilst this one, it was an okay read. It was a fun time, but definitely not a 4-star read for me or a 5-star. Read this though if you like Spaceman, plugging in and going deep. I do not have an original review for that one. That was just a star rating. The next book that I read, the final book for this reading vlog, is The Sword-Edged Blonde by Alex Bledsoe. I will start by saying, this title, what were you thinking, my dude? It's so clunky and awkward, and I just don't think it suits the story. That's just my 2 cents. But in this noir fantasy, you have a king who pays our anti-hero PI to find his missing daughter. But whilst he is solving that case, a bigger case is handed to him from an old friend. His old friend also happens to be a king, and the king's wife has been charged with infanticide with a touch of cannibalism. They found her covered in blood in the nursery with some baby's bones bubbling in a broth. So the king doesn't believe his wife would do this, and he wants the PI to investigate. There is a lot of enigma and mystery surrounding this wife and how she met the king, and he thinks there are multiple things at play here and nothing is as it seems. This was fun. This is definitely for the plot-based babes. That being said, there are problematic things in it. Just like in a lot of noirs, all of the women are objectified in this book. Pretty much majority of them are either victims or sex workers or both. So the female representation, not the best. The book was also odd in that the vernacular and the dialogue sounds very modern, but it is set in medieval times. It's also very violent. So violent, like grimdark violent. And out of all of the books, I probably remembered the most about this one. I did not remember Lightboxes at all. I did not remember Grimspace at all. This one, some things did come back to me. I was like, oh, hang on. This is this book that has that scene in it that absolutely shocked me in the past. So, but that being said, I still forgot a lot about this stuff from this book that I read in 2012. So yeah, it seems pretty much books that aren't 5 stars or maybe 1 star. I'm not going to remember 10, 15 years in the future. Our main PI, Eddie, is also quite unlikable. He does some very questionable things in regards to looking for scars that I thought, author man, why would you write it that way? Why would Eddie go about it in that way when a simple, could you show me a scar please, would suffice? So there's times where you can see, oh, Eddie has a heart of gold, and then it's like, oh, Eddie is a bit of a cad and a yucky man. So I was able to just put that aside, put the female rep aside, and enjoy the plot. I am a plot reader, first and foremost, and the story in this was very entertaining in terms of the mystery and then how things unraveled and the unexpected gruesomeness. I do think certain things happen very conveniently for Eddie, so that is there, but I feel like that's the way it is with a lot of noirs and murder mysteries, you know, things sort of, there's luck involved with discovering who the culprit is and what the story is. But this, yeah, it had the fantasy and the noir elements, which I think was really fun to combine. There was some sort of nursery rhyme things going on there. The goddess Pona or / Rhiannon was represented, which was fun. I had a good time. I rated this, I don't know, because I've given it 4 stars, did I give it 4.25? I've rated it a bit higher than a 4 star. So I actually enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed it previously. It's not a 5-star book, so I don't know why I had it in my precious section. So it's not going in there. But this one held up. But like I said, you do have to like overlook some things. And I find it funny how sometimes I'm not able to do that, and then sometimes I am. But yeah, this one just had me hooked, and I'm glad that I didn't remember everything about it, so that I was still surprised. As soon as the reveals were made, it jigged my memory. I'm like, oh yeah. But that's fun. Sometimes you can reread a book from a long time ago as if it's new. You know, there's this feeling of deja vu, but sometimes you don't cotton on until it's unmasked. But I enjoyed this book, and I would say read it if you like Horse Girls, Clover, and Twins. So those were the books that I reread, and are definitely, unfortunately, not faves. But still was it's so interesting to read books past Chanel read and to have on 2 of them very different opinions and views. I don't think we ever stay the same, and I don't think I could ever now pick up Lord of the Rings, which is probably my favorite trilogy series of all time, because if I read that and didn't think it was 5 stars, I wouldn't know who I was. I feel like I'd lost a massive part of my personality. I hate really bright lights, but the sun, where have you gone? It's autumn, and yeah, unfortunately the darkness is descending. But I'm heading out today. I am trying to make the most of my child-free time, even though I just want to stay home. But chronic illness, fuck you. I'm going to go out regardless. Tomorrow is a rest day, so that's how I've structured it. Go out, rest, go out, rest, go out, rest. And hopefully that does not lead to burnout. But today's plan is food and hopefully Mickey 17. I also want to see Death of a Unicorn, but it's actually not out yet. So Mickey 17 it is. I've got free ticket vouchers. Hopefully they use them. You can't book online with them. I tried to do it last night and I'm like, sorry. And I want the recliner seats. I don't want a regular seat. It's so much better for me if I can have my feet elevated. So it's all dependent upon me being able to get a recliner seat today. So we'll see if that goes down. Since I'm going to be in the city, I'd love to pop into Metropolis bookstore and see what they've got going on there. And then I've got to visit my mum because she's got a book that someone sent to me, so I need to pick that up. And then it's home, babes. But I'm going to try perfume on camera. And that's because I want my reaction on camera. And I'll tell you why. So this perfume is called Seminalis. Even with the title of it, that should give you a hint of what it might be like. Now, this perfume is controversial because of how it smells. If you try to look it up, none of the components, notes are listed. It's nothing there. And then you read the reviews. And people say that this smells like jizz or sex, but good. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not kidding. Everyone's like, yeah, this is ejaculate. This is fornication. This is sweaty musties. I just have to know. I'm so curious. And I'm like, how does smelling like that smell like something you want to go out into the world in? Do you really want to smell like a used rag? I don't know. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to put it down lower. Just in case. I just want to see what I think it smells like. Oh, I'm so nervous. Oh my God. I'll laugh if it smells like nothing like, but yeah, so, oh my God, I just spilt it all over my hands. All right, I might have to wash my hands after this. Let's see if it smells like that to me. I just got to give it a second. I'm already smelling it from here. Okay, I'm getting prophylactic. Okay, a lot of people said it smelled like a used rubber. I am getting latex, but I'm also getting musk, like man latex, petrol or gasoline. Yeah, it's very mask. So I don't smell semen or copulation. Like I said, I smell latex, gasoline, and dude. Like, it smells like a manly man. He's put on a pair of latex gloves. I wouldn't say Johnny, I'd say latex gloves. Yeah, okay, that was slightly disappointing. I don't know, you're like, Chanel, why would you want to smell like human secretions? I just want to be part of the group that got that experience. I'll see how it dries down. But yeah, it's not what I was anticipating. Interesting. I will be giving away some of these perfume samples in my tarot and book giveaways. So I'll let the people decide which perfume sample they want. I'll be surprised if anyone grabs this one. But what a bit of a letdown. I was hoping. It's been so long since I've smelled those scents. I was hoping it would, jog some old memories, but it just, smells like a mechanic. That's kind of what it smells like to me. But I'll take you guys along with me to the city and I'll catch you later. Okay, so unfortunately, I took too long doing the wrap-ups and I have missed the bus. And they come an hour apart, so I am not going to have time to eat before the movie. I'm going to have to eat after the movie, if anything is still open, because I believe this is almost a 2.5 hour movie. So my whole plan's a bit off schedule today, but hopefully I still get everything done that I want to get done, but I may not have time to go to Metropolis Bookstore. It's my bad. I was not on time. I decided to shower this morning and that took a lot longer than I anticipated. Drying my hair. Normally I am an air dryer, not a hair dryer. Okay, I'm kind of pissed. The app said that the bus comes at 11:44. I'm here at 11:43. It comes at 11:50 and there's no bench. I have to stand. I know you think, Chanel, it's just 7 minutes, but like I have POTS and standing for 7 minutes might make me faint. So let's hope for the best. I don't have time to get my own snacks. Popcorn and water, $20. $20. I was at the cinema and I bit into a popcorn kernel and half my tooth came off. So I had to catch an Uber to go to the dentist. I don't know if they're going to be able to save my tooth. I might have to get a tooth pulled today. Well, good news is they can save the tooth. It's cost me $2,000, but I have private health insurance, which I wasn't actually going to get this year, but I got kids and they've been hospitalized, so I was like, all right, I may as well cover myself. So I'm going to get $400 back, so $1,600 out of pocket. My mum's coming to pick me up, so I don't have to pay for another Uber, but my God, this month for me with the stock market, now this financial nightmare. But there go my plans. Look at that lopsided grin, bruh. Oh, so I've got a temporary filling and the inlay will come in 2 weeks and then they'll put that in, but probably mostly going to be eating baby food from here on out, man. Oh my God. But yeah, that's the end for this vlog, guys. See you soon.